Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan and you're watching my World of Sport Wrestling review, week 7. Okay, before we get into this review, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Nathan Cruz and Justin Sison for hosting last week's episode. I've took the time away and all I can say is I've came back fully recharged. So the first match this week was Adam Maxted versus Nathan Cruz in a WOS contract ladder match. I think that makes sense, yeah. It was winner keeps the contract, loser is out. So it was a very, I want to say, Maxted dominant match. Like, Cruz definitely got his pieces in. We got a few decent moves, but it was like 60-40 to Maxted. And Maxted just proves even more that he's the drop kick king, because we had the outside drop kicks, we had the jumping ladder drop kick, and just your standard drop kicks like Maxted. He is a student becoming a master of the drop kick, and it is beautiful. So yeah, we had the drop kick, we had the flying, I wouldn't call it a Superman punch because he flew through the air, but it wasn't really a Superman punch motion. But yeah, so we had the flying punch onto Cruz, going off the ladder, which was beautifully done. And yeah, it was a solid, especially with the result, which was Maxted keeping the contract. So yeah, the end result was Maxted winning. And the match done a really good job of proving that without Cruz by his side, he can still fight and he can still do it on his own. Which is very good, of course, since we have 3 weeks left and now he's going in at it on his own. So having him prove that he can go at it on his own is really good. So yeah, that was the first match. Like I say, Maxted won, and the match done a really good job of making him look like a great solo star. Now we have the next match, and these matches still confuse me because they book them as handicap matches and they call them for like 4-way matches, and I don't know what's going on. But it was Crater, Robbie X, Liam Slater and Gabriel Kidd. And so it was just about these 3 young, quick lads taking down the Monster Crater. It was, yeah, that's pretty much the sum of it. It was, we had Gabe, who couldn't do it. We had Gabe and Slater, who couldn't do it. So now we had Robbie X to the mix, and we see what can happen. And what happened? The Monster Crater was brought down. So yeah, all 4 men still came out looking good. Like, even though Crater took the loss, like in the build in the match, we had Slater, like I said, all 3 of the Robbie X, Slater and Kidd, getting to show their talents by hitting Crater, and Crater just not taking any damage. Like, he was just, and that was it. And that was like a drop kick to him, but to me but that's what it felt like to him. A drop kick like that to him felt like, and that's what I liked, was that all 4 men got to prove like what it is they can do. For it was the unstoppableness. For the other 3, like I say, Robbie, Gabe and Slater, it was, yeah, showing each of their talents off, and what could they do as a trio? They could take the monster down, and they were able to finally pin him and beat him 1, 2, 3. So that's Crater's first loss, and it took 3 men to do it. So yeah, it was a good fun match. Sad to see Crater lose, but it had to happen. It was 3 men, 3 really talented men. So it definitely wasn't an easy task to bring him down, but he was brought down. Now for probably one of the strangest matches, not just of the show tonight, but of the show over the past 7 weeks, which was Martin Kirby versus not Gabriel Kidd. He's just been on. It was Martin Kirby versus Grado. And as expected between both these men, it was a good match because both men are really talented, but due to character, it was also a really funny match. Even before what happened. We had like the funny moments of Kirby not being able to lift Grado. Well, not suplex him, he kind of lifted him, but yeah, we had these moments, and it was very much about what's in the bum bag, and it became a good little theme. Like I said, it was a very good comedy match. Like, you're watching it for the wrestling, but you're still having a nice laugh at this match, and you're not laughing at it because it's bad. You're laughing at it because it's a funny match. And then comes the bum bag. So I messed up here. I tweeted that it was going to be a bum bag inside of a bum bag. That would have been great. Would it have been? Maybe, who knows. But it was a toothbrush. Toothbrush. One more time. It was a toothbrush. These people are mental. So yes, once the toothbrush was revealed, it became a war of who's taking the toothbrush. We had armpit sweat from both men, and it became a battle of strength of, will you take it or will I take it? Or will the ref take it? And in the end, things didn't end pretty. And Martin Kirby was the victor. And now we come to the main event. It was Joe Hendry and Justin Sison taking on Rampage and Shawshank Redemption taking on I don't know how to. They say it every week. Shaw Samuels. I'm going to go with Shaw. I said Shea last episode, I think, but we'll go with Shaw. Yeah, it was Rampage and Shea. Shaw. Shaw. And obviously, them two being there, CJ Bangs was obviously ringside. Let's just move past the name situation and we'll get on with the talking. So, right off the bat with the match, Rampage and Joe Hendry, the wrestling was brilliantly done. Like I say, it was wrestling. It was just pure wrestling, and it went really well. And I think, yeah, and then obviously we had the tag out, and it was Shaw, and Sison, and it was no matter who tagged, no matter the combination that was in the ring, these were four massive men, so it was always going to be a clash of titans, which is always fun. Because, like I say, that was what the original World Sport Wrestling was all about. It was about the dominating big men. So to have the main event before big men fighting it out, it was lovely. With CJ on the side, it didn't take too long to make himself known and get himself involved in the match. But yeah, like you say, it was these four men. It was a really, really good match, and every hit, just you could feel every hit through the TV, because again, it's just giant hits from giant men. Yep. And the prestigious Heroes came out with the win, which I'm never going to complain about. And so hopefully we'll see what happens with Sison going forward, because man, he still deserves that title shot. CJ Banks throughout this match and throughout every week, he feels like a RuneScape imp. Like, sometimes you don't see him, but every time you do, he's annoying. And the more you see him, the more annoying he becomes, because you just can never get rid of him. Yeah, that's just the vibe you get from him. It's like, he's there to be annoying. Like, he loses his matches, and the matches that he's ringside for, he grows annoying. That was this week's show. Again, to recap, it was Nathan Cruz and Adam Maxted with the contract ladder match. It was Creator versus Slater, Kid, and Robbie X. It was Martin Kirby versus Grado, and it was Sison and Hendry versus Rampage and Shaw. So it was all around. It was a good show. But before I end this week's episode, I kind of wanted to talk about something. So, World Sport Wrestling came back well, obviously 7 weeks ago. It's been 7 weeks. And it's on ITV, so, and that's ITV, everyone sees it. It's not like WWE Raw where it's hidden. You don't have to go to a live show, you don't have to pay for tickets to see it. It's there on ITV every Saturday. And you see these on Twitter all the time, like the company or the wrestlers and people involved tweet them and share the tweets, and it's kids watching the show. And I'm talking like really young kids. It's not like these are the kids who will be influenced by the people that they see. Instead of already having an influence, like what they see on TV, they will learn from type of thing. Especially this day and age with technology. And the story that they're telling with Justin Sison, it's brilliant because he could very well easily have just stopped with the title chase. Like, he lost. These two people just keep on getting in his way. He could become frustrated and stop. But that's not the story they want to tell. And I feel like Justin Sison is the story of World of Sport, because although he hasn't reached the title yet, he's never let anything bring him down. It's always been, this is my goal, and you might be able to beat me, you might be able to hold me down, and this is, we're talking Shea, Rampage and CJ all getting involved in the matches and whatnot and not letting him get the wins. But then there's also Stu, who is the big boss man, and he's given him what he's calling opportunities, but at the same time he's holding him back because a lot of people would say he's earned his title match, his title rematch, but he's not getting it. And every week we'll see if we can impress, we see if we can impress. And every week Sison comes out, and what does he do? He impresses. But there's always something, even though, like, say he won this week, and like I say, I feel like that's something that's doing, like, I feel like it's a really good story for kids. Like, we have the Grado and Matt and Kirby stuff, which, like I say, that is super kid friendly, that's great fun. Then obviously we have all the women that are just fighting for the title, and that's really good. We have the bromance, which is, obviously, of course, now it's over. And then obviously we had the tag title tournament leading up. But the main story throughout has been Sison the hero, like, going against all the villains. And like I say, we have the big boss man, which is Stu. Then the three, like I say, the champion, Rampage, and CJ and Shah. And yeah, I feel like this has been like the story of this series, and it's very influential for kids who, like I say, it's showing them, like, don't let anybody hold you back. If you have something that you want to go for it. Don't let anybody tell you different. Don't let people's actions make you go differently. It's your sole focus. Focus on it. Yeah, bit of a rant there, but I just wanted to get that off my chest. I've been Ryan. I shall see you for week 8, this time, hopefully, next week. So I'll see you then. Bye.